Yeah, so now I'm showing my game against Noel Studer in the Sicilian Najdorf Defense, and yeah, I will just start. Okay, after e4, I started thinking a bit whether to play the Caro-Kann or Najdorf, but yeah, I decided to play the Najdorf. So c5, knight f3, d6, d4, takes, knight f6, knight c3, a6. And okay, he decided to play bishop e3, which is, yeah, I mean, after e5 you have the option to play knight b3 or knight f3. He decided for knight f3. I think it's a bit more calm. Okay, bishop e7, bishop c4, and yeah, now there is this move bishop e6, and of course now you can just go bishop b3 and have a pretty calm game, or you take, which is maybe the most critical line, and he also played it. And yeah, I think this whole thing is forced, so this is basically all more or less known theory. So queen h3, knight d8, bishop b6, h6, and yeah, you could take here first, but after bishop d8 it's not that easy, because after knight e6, which is, there's always bishop a5, and now I'm threatening to take on e4, so the knight is trapped here, so it's not that easy for white. This is why the main line continues with long castles here. And yeah, now I can castle, and after bishop d8, now I don't have to take back on d8, but yeah, I can take on g5. Bishop e7, queen e7, queen g3, I think this is still main line, b5. And yeah, now I think the main move is queen g5, b4, knight e2, queen c7, f3, queen c4, queen d2, queen a2, and queen b4, and okay, some crazy lines here. Okay, this is, of course, goes on, but yeah, I mean, this is like maybe the position I also think he had in mind. But yeah, I think he started with the wrong move order here, so he started playing f3, because yeah, I mean, maybe he just thought I could play b4 and take on e4 and didn't really look that the knight was pinned. And yeah, now this f3 move allows me to play g4, because he can't take, since I have b4 and will take on e4, and even knight f2 is coming up, so he can't take. And yeah, now of course, this is, I think, maybe even already better for black, because on g5 the pawn was a real weakness, and now not only I can exchange, but also he will get some weaknesses. And yeah, okay, he played rook e1, gf3, queen f3. I think, okay, it's still pretty solid for white, so not that easy to win still. So rook c8, queen d3. Yeah, now I have to make a choice. I can play rook c6 and then like rook fc8. And maybe then the plan would be to play with b4 and to play against the pawn on c2. Or what I played is rook fd8. And now I have different plans. First of all, of course, I can now play some ideas with f5, not immediately, but yeah, under good circumstances. And also I have ideas with rook c4, queen c6, and b4 in the ideal case, but of course this will take a long time. So yeah, I was not so sure about this position. Okay, he played king b1, and yeah, I started this plan with rook c4. Maybe now queen b7 would have been my next move, and he played a4. Yeah, I was a bit shocked by this move, because of course this is not the usual move. Yeah, you have a king on b1, which could get really weak, and basically a4 is not threatening that much. But yeah, then I realized this idea, because if I play a normal move like queen b7 defending this pawn, I think he would have played queen h3, attacking on e6, and suddenly it's not so easy for me to defend everything. After rook e8, d6 is hanging, king f7 is, okay, not the move you really want to play, because rook f1, and yeah, already white is threatening to take on f6. I didn't want that, and okay, now to go back to d7 is also, okay, some kind of strange. So this is why I decided to go to e8, so protect this pawn and also, yeah, prevent queen h3, because now it wouldn't make any sense. And yeah, he took, b3, rook c5, okay, I have to defend the pawn on b5, and knight a2. Of course, now this knight a2 move, I already expected it, and now of course he wants to put the knight on b4 and maybe king b2, and I think in this, if he gets all this, maybe white is pretty solid, so this is why I wanted to play d5, ed5. And of course, now there are a lot of moves. I mean, I could take like this, but I think after queen e2, this is, yeah, not really good. Then the main choices for me, I would say, is ed5, which, yeah, maybe is the best move. Okay, I think there's moves like queen f5 and probably d4. Yeah, I had the feeling that my position should be really good here after d5. But yeah, I had thought of knight d5, which is of course strategically not that good with these two pawns, but I thought directly it must be good for black, and yeah, I also calculated some lines where it was good. And okay, now if you take on e5, there's knight c3 check, and okay, knight c3, and rook d3 and rook c5. Okay, I don't think this is so good for white. Maybe white can hold, but yeah, I thought maybe queen f8 is precise, and okay, black should be much better, maybe even already winning. So of course he didn't take on d5, was, yeah, no need to take. Yeah, so here he played queen g3. And yeah, now here I have a lot of moves. First of all, I have what I had planned was b4, but yeah, after rook e5, this doesn't make any sense. And then there's, okay, a move like rook a8. And yeah, here I calculated queen e5, so now sacrificing the queen, knight c3, rook e5, and rook e5. And here I was suddenly not so sure, because after b4 there's just knight a4, and yeah, somehow my attack is gone. This rook is really solid. Rook d1 is coming up, and I was not sure how to make any progress here. So this is why I didn't want to play rook a8. And then there were also, yeah, many other moves. Okay, I can try. First of all, there was queen h5, but the problem with queen h5 is that somehow I wanted my queen there to attack and not, yeah, I wanted to attack and not really defend, because yeah, long terms, of course, I have the problem with the double pawns here, which I also can't defend. And yeah, I decided to play rook c8, so attack c2. And yeah, I think now this is a really forced line. Rook e5, rook c2, and yeah, he can take on d5 because the pawn is pinned. And yeah, now it's like queen c6. And now, so I'm threatening rook c1, and the rook is hanging. So basically, I think the other move would have been rook knight b4, rook c1 check, king b2, and queen a8, which was my idea. I think this is a really important move, otherwise maybe I would just resign. Okay, then there's rook d8 check, take, king c1, and okay, it went on, but I couldn't calculate till the end, because queen a1, king c2, queen d1, and first of all I thought this is just mate, but there's king b2, rook d2, king c3, and I think queen c1, but now knight c2. Okay, I can take, but the king escapes to b4, and yeah, so I already realized here that actually the king on b4 is pretty safe. So yeah, this was a long line, but I mean, it's actually, if you look from the white side, it feels like you're already getting mated immediately. So I think knight b4 is, yeah, tough move to play, and also not sure that it's good. So yeah, he played rook d1, normal move, preventing rook c1, and now I have to take on a2, king a2, queen c2 check, so I'm taking back the rook, king a3, and queen d1. And yeah, now of course this king is pretty weak on a3, but I think he found a very strong move, queen e3. I also already expected this. And yeah, now suddenly it's really hard for me to find any attack. I mean, like queen a1 check, he would just go king b4. I think b4 check, he can also even just take rook b8 and rook b5. And the problem is, as I already said, yeah, this king on b4 is really solid, and somehow rook and queen are not really enough to attack. And also the problem is that generally my king is also in danger of, yeah, getting some perpetual. So I think I played queen d6 check, king b2, and rook a8. So yeah, it seems weird to let the king get back to b2, but I thought that maybe it's, yeah, safer on b4 than on b2. And now, okay, I have queen a3 check and all this. Okay, he took, and queen a3 check. Okay, he played king c3. Maybe king c2 would have been a better move, but okay, already he didn't have that much time. And this also, yeah, I mean, I can't mate here anyway. So rook c8 check and king d4. He has to go forward now. Queen b2 check, king e4. And yeah, now I think I also have to move rook c3, but as I already didn't have that much time, I was not sure. I mean, queen f4, queen e2 check, king f5, rook c5 check, and rook e5. And I was not quite sure how to win this. And yeah, anyway, I thought that actually after queen g2 check, my position should be really good. But yeah, I somehow forgot about king d4. I thought he had to go here, and I would just take with check, and yeah, should have been really good. So he played king d4, and yeah, this move was his move 40, and I still had to make my move 40. I just went back here, gave a check. He now went to d5 because, yeah, I think he didn't want to allow rook c3, king d5, and I went back, so just to cross move 40 and, yeah, gain some time. King d4, and yeah, now I played queen g4 check. Of course, maybe what I had overlooked is that first of all I thought he can play king f5, but now there's queen e6 check, king e6, and rook e8 winning the game. This is why he had to play king d5, check, and yeah, now he went to e5. And this is the position where concrete I can't mate him, and I also think this is maybe the reason why he thought that actually he might be pretty okay. I mean, material is equal, and his king, okay, doesn't seem safe, but I can't do anything. But yeah, I found this queen c2 move. And I think the problem for white is that basically this king is pretty much safe the way it is right now, but none of the pieces can move. So I will rather pick up all the pawns, give always the checks. I can exchange whatever I want, so that basically white can't do anything. He played queen h3, so wanted to protect the pawn. Okay, I also thought this is a reasonable move, but now there's rook d8. And I think here it's just impossible for white to make any move. This is like, now, okay, rook a6, I have queen c7 check, and I will pick up the rook. Okay, here I go here I go here. So in any case, I will pick up the rook, so there's no square for the rook to go. I mean, the queen already was placed more or less perfectly here, and also the king can't really move, so actually white has no move. Okay, he played king f4, but this was already, he knew that this is totally lost. I mean, king g5, and there's now rook d5 check, so I'm just placing my rook here. I think after king h4, there's the funny move queen h7 check, and okay, now I will pick up the queen. So he went back to f4, and now after queen f2, the game was over, because yeah, now the king is getting too weak. I mean, after king e4, it's mate. And after king g4, I have queen f5 check, king h4, rook d4 check, king g3, and rook d3 check. So I will win lots of material here, and yeah, in view of that, he then resigned the game.